guys, welcome back here to Snapshot Survival. I'm not actually on the Snapshot world, I'm just on one of these worlds I've made to mess around with the snapshots because I wanted to cover something they've added here in the latest snapshot, which, if we go take a peek, is now 15W34a. Now there's going to be a B, looks like, coming out tomorrow, and it looks like they're going to be adding some more stuff along that. So I wanted to show one thing before Skatem joins me and we actually play the server and talk about some of the new stuff. I wanted to go in here and show one thing which they've added, and that is command blocks, just because I would like to cover that. I don't know so much about the command blocks and the map making as much as Skatem does and people like Seth Bling and whatnot. But there's going to be, looks like they're going to be adding more to this, but I will go ahead and place that. So first thing you notice is the texture on this has been changed a little bit. So they all used to look like this. And you can see that it is, that's like animated, which is kind of neat if you see ever so slightly. So they've been set up. The first things we're dealing with the textures. They kind of have fronts and backs and sides. So this is the back, this is like the input, and this is like the output here in the front, as these arrows kind of allude to. So if I were to put another one here, another one there, another one there, you can kind of see that they're all, pointing in one direction, and they've all kind of connect up like that. And that's not too important in this case, because these command blocks, which are the impulse command blocks, are basically the exact same thing as they were before. There's nothing really changed about them. Once you power them, they'll run their command and do their thing. Now you can either give it to yourself by typing commands, or you can click here. You can change this. There's chain and repeat ones that have been added. So the first one I'll look at here is the repeat. You'll see the color of this changes to here to this purpley color. And this one is a bit different because unlike the old one here, which I guess I could demonstrate this. I know enough to at least do this. Let's see here. Say hi. So every time you power this, it'll say hi, say once and done. If you do this one, they've changed this repeat one so that when you do power it, it goes like crazy. As you can see, it'll power it. You can see it's going like 20 times a second, or 20 times a tick, or 20 ticks a second, or something like that. I don't know the lingo. But this one is basically something you would do with these to make them like run a whole bunch by putting the redstone in between that you can now do with just this set block here. And then the last part they've added here, which is called chain, which is this blue color. This plays into the purpose of the arrows and the connection, which if I do that well, first of all, I can, obviously click this. You've got a chain command block and a repeating command block. I can, line these up like this, and then put one of these on, whoops. Put one of these here on the end, but you can see I faced this the wrong direction. Whoops. So they place like pistons. No. Oh, they've like based on which way you face, so I should do that. There we go. Okay, so this one, you can see the arrows. The chain ones are ones that they'll go in order. So if you power them up, the pulse will go down, so it'll go to this one, to this one. Now the question is, I guess, which we should answer here. So I guess each one has to be powered. So we'll have this one be, say, 1, say 2, say 3, say 4. We don't need 5. This is good enough. So if we power the first one, okay, hang on. So if we power all of them, you power the first one. So you leave these powered, and every time you power them, you can see they don't send out their command. But when you power you have one of these or the repeating ones here in the front. When this one gets powered, it'll send the pulse through and it'll play them in a chain. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So with this one first, then this one, then this one, this one. You can kind of set up a nice flow. So these are the new command block features. There's hinted that there's like 9 more. There's like 9 textures total. Of course, these are just like 3 here. So looks like they have some more stuff planned for this. But looks like Grum has done something that's going to be more of interesting to the survival world. So this was just something extra I wanted to show you guys. Now I want to get on with Skate, and we'll talk about the other new features, which will include maps, little shield updates, and then some little tiny combat changes. So Alright guys, so it turns out skating won't be on tonight, so I'm going to go ahead and just show you the features as I am heading back to school, and make sure I can cover this to get this one other video out. So the first thing I will mention is map making. Map making is still the same, except for when you do craft it, it's at a 1 to 4 zoom, which is like the middle of the road. So you can, they don't start like all the way zoomed in again. But it's a little bit buggy now because if you edit with maps, then sometimes it won't zoom into the right quadrants and you lose the marker on it. So you can now zoom in maps by using shears, but it'll pick random quadrants and it's really buggy. But you can now zoom in maps as you start at 1 to 4 and you can go down to 1 to 1 or 1 to 16. So, or maybe it's just 1 to 8, I don't know. But that's maps. I'm not going to show that because they're a little buggy. I don't want to risk breaking the world. Second on that, they also changed zombies a little bit, so they now put their arms up when they are fighting you. So once they lock onto you and are tracking you with their AI, they'll put their arms up, which is, I guess, kind of an easy way to depict that they are attacking you. Ooh, there's another villager over there. I wonder if he's coming towards me. Because if so, which I think he is, if so, oh, there's one over there. Oh, yeah, see, he's tracking something, so he has his arms up. Make sure he can't get in here. Oh, which he can. Crap. Yeah, that's kind of bad. I went ahead and I finally got a villager bred, so I'll be dealing with that. I guess I can trade with him real quick. I wanted to trade in all this paper to get a few emeralds here. I didn't know you get XP for trading with him. And now he's happy, so he's unlocking more stuff. Of course, that one was already there, I knew that. But now books also, so that's cool. I'll maybe go to the stronghold. Okay, so yeah, they changed zombies on that. What else? Bunch of bug fixes, and then I guess probably the biggest feature that they've added in here is the change with the combat. Oh, they also did a bunch of optimizations. It's apparently 15% increase in speed, but I do want to go ahead and show the new thing they have added. Now obviously this is going to change a lot, but if you go into your video settings, it's turned off by default. You have the attack indicator. So this is broken right now that it'll reset every time you log in, but you have two options, crosshair and hotbar. We're going to start with the hotbar because it's easier for you guys to see what's happening. If you notice, when I pull my sword, see how long it takes me to lift it up? It's like trying to get my sword up there because it's heavy, versus something like this. All this stuff pops up like, right away like it used to. But that takes a long time to go ahead and get that up. So what they have changed is, before where you could do this and like spam click and kill things, well now not so much. So that little charge up that you see in the bottom right as I lift it up, when it disappears, that means it's fully charged, and every time I damage, it's going to do a normal damage attack, like it would any other time. It's going to deal that sharpness 4 with the 12 attack damage. Now, if I were to, say, hit like halfway, I don't know what the formula is, but if you just spam click down here, you're not going to deal your full amount of damage because you're not recharging your sword. So it's kind of gets rid of the spam clicking. Now, one thing they talked about here, which I'm going to go ahead and craft because I would like to try out, I guess we'll use the stone we have on here, is different, I don't know if the different tools, but different things have different recharging. So anything that does damage, so pickaxes it'll work as well, but you see an axe notably takes a lot longer to use as a weapon, and it does less damage, which means it's kind of like there's no benefit to it. But they've hinted at possibly maybe this will do more, it'll do more durability damage to shields and stuff like that. So there's going to be a lot to come. But down in the bottom right, there's the recharge. So we'll go test. Sometimes if you just keep spam clicking, it'll take sometimes even 10 hits or so to kill, with the sharpness 4 at least, to kill a mob, whereas the normal like 2 if you let it fully recharge. Now I also want to show really quick the other position it can go in, which is in the crosshair. I don't like it down in the bottom right because you can't really see that when you're fighting. You're not paying attention to that. But the one on the, as you see that little tiny one there, it's very hard to see because it's a little bit like transparent and it's a little small. So if they made that bigger, I would definitely like that. But for the most part, why it's off by default is because just by looking at your arm when it fully raises it up, it's fully charged. You don't really need the gauge. But for another tool like this, it's kind of useful to see like when it's like halfway, charged and whatnot. But they hinted at different things being worth different amounts, and they hinted at like things like gold armor and gold tools having better things in the nether, and there are a whole bunch of different stuff that they have the potential to add. So there's one. I just gotta kill these creepers. Oh gosh. I have sharpness 4, so it's really kind of hard to show any kind of balance. Whoops. That's a villager. Oh god, I'm gonna die. I don't want to lose my 29 levels. But you take my word for it that you won't be doing as much damage with the spam attack. It's kind of hard to show with the sharpness because it does so much damage that it's kind of like a little crazy. And I know one thing I never did mention is that down on the hotbar, the reason I didn't really see it till recently, because you never like looking at your hotbar while you're shooting arrows, is that when you do pull an arrow back, the bow animation shows it as well. But of course I'm out of bows, or out of arrows. So let me see before it's day, and without dying, if I can demonstrate that there is a difference, and that if you don't have anything on, it's going to obviously be a much bigger difference than... Okay, well, we'll try this. This will be perfect. 1, 2, 3. Okay, there's 3 if you just spam click. 1, 2. So with the sharpness 4, obviously it does not make much of a difference, because that's probably an interesting question is, by spamming, does a sharpness 4 still stack on, in which case it's still going to do a ton of damage, it doesn't really make a difference, or is it still going to really negate itself? So obviously if you have no enchantments, that is going to be the extent of that. So you saw that was 3 kits, because those first 2 I spammed. So there's that, but alright. Look at them tracking the villager in there. I forgot that they do that. I guess it's an easy way to kind of attract more zombie villagers to make a bigger zombie, because they'll all get tracked here. Oh, he must have had thorns on him. So yeah, I got the stuff to make more. So hopefully we'll get some more, because we would love to have, I've never built one, an iron golem farm. And then you can also make a zombie farm, because the zombies will all hoard that. So you can kind of 2 birds with 1 stone on that if you build it right. So, all right. Well, those are the new stuff in the snapshot. There is going to be a new snapshot tomorrow, and it's going to have additional stuff. So this was in 15W34a, and I'll throw in the B stuff that comes in, because I know they've added more stuff, and that'll be coming out tomorrow. They've all hinted at that on Twitter. So, all right. Alright, so they've released another new snapshot here, and you can see as far as command blocks go, they've done something which is kind of big that they've added. They've allowed auto completion here, so they will let you, you know, if you don't know too much, you can decide what you're gonna, you know, it just makes it a lot easier to complete things, especially if you're new to the game, to see kind of how these different commands work and all these different coding aspects of the game. So that's something big they've added. You also, they've added a new button down here. You have conditional or unconditional. This basically will determine for mainly the chain command blocks, and how if one is turned off, it'll decide that if this one doesn't run, does the rest of the chain fail, and does it stop wherever the error is, or does it skip over it and continue on and finish the rest of the chain? So if we made like an error here, and then I think made this unconditional, if I have this right. Or maybe the other way, hang on, let's see here. Oh, these need to be powered maybe. Alright, well you get the point. I explained it right, but I don't know. That shows you how much little I know about the command blocks. Alright, so one thing they've added here in B in the snapshot is the armor mechanics are like they were back in the beta version. These are going to be tweaked some more, obviously, but the strength of the armor is dependent on its durability, which, as you can see here, down here, you can see I've got the 3.5, which is typical for my, you know, iron chest plate in this setup. But if I put some damaged, okay, it's obviously not damaged enough. Here, let me see if I have something that's more damaged. I do not, so I'm not sure if I'm able to show that. I might have to go into creative. But basically, if this is like almost red durability, then essentially it's only going to do like a half or a full armor in durability than having something that has full. Which I think is really cool for like PvP on a server. If you're fighting somebody, then as you fight them, their armor gets weaker and weaker, and it's easier to destroy them. But as far as a survival aspect, that really, really blows, and it makes it a pain in the butt to, like, it's just a huge waste of resources, a huge waste of your stuff to keep that up. And basically, after like the first like 25 I guess like the first like 50 or 100 hits you take, then your armor is basically worthless, and it's like you're just wearing like a leather, and it's terrible. So I hope that they tweak that, how that's going to work some more, but it is kind of a good idea. And then the other big thing in this snapshot is a damage indicator. Basically, when you fight a mob, how much damage you do to it is how many like hearts will come off of it, which is kind of neat. It's a little bit broken because it kind of depends on some other stuff here. So let's see. Yeah, you see those like black hearts. So if I were to be doing more damage to it, oh gosh. Uh-oh. Always forget that they blow up. I play on our server too much. Alright, is he still alive? Okay, barely. Can you heal like the hearts of a villager? I don't know. But you saw them. So basically, oh gosh, he's got knockback. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, I tried. So you saw that there was some damage indicators from that. So based on how much damage you do, the more hearts there'll be. So that's there as well. They also did fix map. Oh, look at that. Oh my gosh. His arrow hit the door open. What the heck? That was sneaky. Pinned the door open with his arrow. Alright, well, that door stuck open for a bit. Oh, I guess he did drop a bow, though. So that was a pretty good bet. Unbreaking power 2, unbreaking 1, punch 1. Oh, they did fix maps, and I'll probably show maps off with Skatem here in a bit. Okay, so it has been a busy week for Mojang, all the snapshots they've put out. I had some computer problems. I got to school here, and my computer powered up great, and then I couldn't get to start up for like 2 days. And all the shops were so busy because all the students are coming back in. So I can't get it done until next week, but luckily it turned on. I'm going to leave it on until I get it into the shop because the power up problems just gotten worse and worse over the last 8 months, and I just am so done with it, especially when it's a whole day and it won't turn on. So anyway, I'm a little bit behind on some of this stuff and uploading video-wise. I've also been moving into my apartment, and holy crap, that has been so much work. It was like, it wasn't a brand new lease. A friend had like 2 openings, so we came in and replaced his roommates, so it was dirty. And there's still a crap ton of stuff in here from his friends, and it's been a big project, a lot bigger than I thought, and I'm glad I came up here a couple days early. But that's not the point. Snapshot C came out, and then it had a big bug in it, so they've put out Snapshot D. So right now I'm on 15W34D, and it's on the server, and that is why I'm going to talk about a couple new things. They were put into C. Nothing new was in D except for bug fixes, but we'll go ahead and talk about C because they've really been really been working on this combat stuff. So some things that are new here is, first, they have now labeled, you'll notice here, they've now settled up attack speed and attack damage. So they've now evened these out, and they've made all tools, hoes, pickaxes, swords, axes, and shovels attackable. So the weakest one is the hoe, but it's the fastest one. It's basically equivalent to punching and spam clicking. So you can click as fast as you want, and it recharges pretty quickly. The axes now, on the other hand, are the strongest, but they're very slow. So see how long that takes for it to load itself up. So let's go ahead and bring up the... Nope. Where is this? Let's go ahead and bring up the attack indicator here back to the crosshair so that I can see this while I actually use it. So you see how the sword, I think, has stayed the same, but you see how long it takes to pull this up. So that has been quite a nice little change there. So they've adjusted all those, and they're still balancing them, so I'm not really going to show up. But all I know is that if you have a diamond axe, you can one-hit KO if you do a critical hit on a spider, and if you put sharpness 5 on it, you can like one-hit KO everything. So it's undermined swords just a little bit. Now you'll notice if I hold shift, or maybe not. Maybe I have to attack a mob. Let's go see. They've added something a little bit interesting for when you get cornered by a horde of zombies. And because you have a recharge time, it can kind of be difficult to fight with them. You might feel like you're a little like underwhelmed. So you'll see here. Yeah, see that little swoosh of particles there? that would be a nice little feature here that you'll see. Let me see if I can get, yeah, you see the creeper was affected by that as well. Oh god, you can't spam click anymore. Crap. Don't die, please. I have water. Okay. I'm at 30 levels. Don't die. You saw, I forgot you can't spam click. It's going to be an adjustment in the game to whatever they're changing. But you notice that little attack, the little swoosh you saw? If you're holding shift, or I think you're like standing still and moving slowly, and you hit and you swing, the mob that you attack directly with the sword is going to take the damage, but any mobs nearby will get a knockback effect, including the one you hit, to kind of push them back a little bit. So I wonder if you have like knockback 2 on and you use that effect, how far mobs will go. But that is a thing. So that's going to help with like fighting yourself while you have a long recharge, so it keeps them away from you, so you still can, like, you know, attack them without getting beat up in the corner because you can't spam click and kill a bunch of mobs at once. So there's that. They also added another thing. Ender pearls and chorus fruit now have a slight recharge time, so you can't spam click them, which stops you from like getting above the nether or doing stuff with spamming those things, because I guess you can. So they have a recharge time now. I'm not gonna, you know, waste a pearl to show you that. I do want to show you maps. So actually, we'll probably end up making more maps. We'll probably be making like a nice map wall to map up our area more. So you'll see that when I talk with Skatem when we do that. But if you, they've now put the cursor on. I don't think they've decided what zone it's going to zoom into. I don't think they've done that yet, but at least they do have it set where the cursor's back on, and it starts at a 1 to 4, which is actually 2 levels zoomed out from the closest one. So it's like the whole area, and then it'll be back zoomed in. Actually, let me go, let's screw this. Let's go make a map real quick. I know we got the stuff for it. Let's see. Let's get this and this. And then let's get papers down here. And you'll see that it's zoomed out, and we'll be able to mess around with this here. Whoops. Alright, so this is all the same. Alright, so now if we load this map up, you'll see that it is now at a 1 to 4 scale here, so it's really zoomed out, and we're on the edge of a chunk. But if I actually want to try and zoom this in some more, because we can zoom this in some more, let me see if there's a way to choose a specific expansion here. So let's see if we put this in the middle. Level 2 of 4, scaling from 1 to 4. Oh, well, that will change. Well, let's see if I put it over. Let's see if I put it over here, if it'll load up over there. So it does use durability on the shears. You can now see we have a. Oh, okay. So it's 1 to 1, 1 to 4, 1 to 8, and 1 to 16. So it's actually on the. It's actually, you know, the lower end of that. But now we have a 1 to 1. Level 04. Okay, so I still think they're a little buggy because you don't have the ability to choose what area it zooms in on, I don't think. But you can see it picked basically a square and zoomed in, which is good because this is actually a different one than the one we had. So maybe it's like smart and it somehow uses what you already have to help like determine what you still need for small, as far as the small ones go. But this is kind of a thing now. So we'll just put this in here for now. Okay, so let me think. Let me check the change log here, make sure I didn't miss anything. I know I missed something big, but I'm going to do that with Skatem here. Okay, yeah. So that is all that. Let me call Skatem and do the last bit here. Okay, so one of the things they made special about Axe is to make them a little bit better of a weapon considering how slow they are. They're a little OP right now because they're the strongest and they do this. So I think they're going to take down how much damage they do. But you see here, I'll let Skatem demonstrate. If you are moving forward, moving or sprinting, and I am shifting and holding, but like I'm, wait, how do I block? Oh, right click. If I'm blocking, I'm now blocking with my shield. He comes marching forward at me and hits me. You see, one, I got the knockback because he's sprinting, but you see that I'm right clicking. Okay, now I can. I was right clicking and I could not hold my shield, so I was blocked for about 3 seconds there of the ability to block my shield. You'll see the little, do it again, you'll see the little ticker down the bottom left on the hotbar. And you can see it looks like it does, oh, it didn't do it that time.
Oh, here, I don't think I was charged all the way.
Yeah, you have to be
ready?
fully charged, yes. Fully charged and moving to be able to do that to me. And I think it does extra durability damage to the sword as well. So you can really take someone out with that. But again, they must be fully charged. Let me try this on Skatem now. We'll fully charge. He's blocking. Are you blocking?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I can't shield. You see that? It's white down in the corner. Okay, now I can again.
Yeah. So this is something that's interesting strictly for PvP. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
you just
cool there.
changed the color of my shield with your hair.
Yeah, mine have been
It's
changing
hilarious.
too. Yeah. They're a little. I wonder if they like supposed to do that or are they just glitchy? Who knows? But okay, I think since we're done with this week, it's now the end of Friday. We went down to D on the snapshots this week. That they're going to be tweaking stuff more, but I think this is everything that we've covered in this week's snapshot. So this is all the stuff in 34. So I'm going to go ahead and close up my recording of this episode here. It's probably been a bunch of parts, but
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching. We're going to go do some stuff. Whether or not we record or do it off screen, I'm not sure, but we're going to go work on some projects we have planned here, and we'll talk to you guys later. See ya.
Adios.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. If you'd like to check out some more Minecraft, why not check out my Sky Factory 2 Let's Play with Zerthik and Necker by clicking here in the top left. If you'd like to see something else, you can check out my Eidolon Let's Play that I'll be finishing this summer by clicking here in the top right. You can follow me on Twitter down below, and then if you'd like what you've seen so far and you have yet to subscribe, click the big banner below.